What's up? It's your boy Reemus, and welcome to the Champ Set Podcast, the podcast for champions.
What's up? It's your boy Reemus, and we are back. Back with these podcasts and stuff. Corona has stopped a lot of people, while it clearly ain't stopping us. I've been gone for a long time. I've been working on the new book, The Floyd Mayweather Mind, that's coming out soon. Also, a documentary movie coming with it too. A couple more breakdowns and stuff. But anyway, let's get into the video. The topic of today's video is, of course, Mike Tyson announcing that he's making a comeback exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr. And I just want to give my thoughts on this and also ask you guys what your thoughts are too. I think this one is it's like a fantasy matchup almost. That is still it's a fantasy. Because, of course, Roy Jones was never really fighting at heavyweight, in his prime or even close to the time that Mike was fighting. And, they really are from different eras, Roy Jones, he isn't even that much, younger than Floyd, but he still is just a few years ahead. So this one's kind of almost like, I get why there's so much anticipation, excitement, why so much interest is being generated, because it's like, these are two legends going at it, and it's almost like mythical. But the only thing that I think is old age, man. It's a real thing, and I have to think, even though I'm a boxing fan, I'm also a boxing historian, and I understand that taking hits that long into your career is not something you really want to do, which then goes on to highlight how strong the itch to fight must be for fighters. The fact that, say, someone like Mike Tyson, he is a boxing historian himself too, and he knows the effect of old age, but you would have to be in the position to know what these fighters are feeling like when they've spent their whole life doing something, and then afterwards they can't, just leave it behind. I think one thing with Mike that he shows is that in all of us, we have this other side of us. We have another side to us that's not the social person that's out there. And I think Mike, this is just my interpretation, I think Mike is tired of being that socialized character that he is in the normal world, and he wants to get back in the ring so he can recapture that feeling of glory, recapture that feeling of being a conqueror, being, wanting to walk with the same confidence that Napoleon Bonaparte walks with, or some of these guys that he really looks up to, or even the old fighters like Mickey Walker, Joe Gans, and all of these guys. But I don't know, for me, the part that cares is almost like, you two, can you just stop it? Can you just leave it in the past? Because even with Roy Jones Jr., right? Roy Jones Jr. is fighting way too long. He should have been retired 15 years ago. Someone like Joe Calzaghe, that's not someone that can really beat a prime Roy Jones Jr. And Roy Jones Jr., his skills are heavily dependent on his physical abilities. It's not that he's not skilled, but he built his skills basically upon the foundation of his physical prowess, his physical talents, like his speed. That's why he even as he's old, he still fights with his hands down, doing all of that stuff. And I'm like, bro, you can't do that, because that's the old you. You could do that 10 years ago. But that's also why you might say, but other guys like George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins, they fought when they was older. But you have to realize, the key thing is that those guys adapted. George Foreman didn't fight the same way he did when he was younger. He fell in love with the jab and just taking his time and being more patient and being more methodical. Bernard Hopkins, he was a guy who was way more crafty. Someone like Roy Jones Jr., he isn't able to make that adaptation because he's just thinking in his head. He's still thinking in his ego, rather than accepting the fact that he is older and he got to change the style. So, I just know there's a potential that these guys are taking punches for too long. And when one of these guys, if they keep doing this, they're going to end up slurring their words. They're going to end up with bad mental health. They're going to end up, just in a bad state of mind. And although we're the fans cheering on, going, yeah, come on, let's do what we want to see, we have to remember, these guys are not the guys that they were once before. We don't want to see Mike Tyson slumped on the floor, you know, looking up at the ref, just looking so dejected and discouraged, like he was when he fought Kevin McBride. Kevin McBride is no one to Mike, but of course in that instant, it's just the factor of age. So my thoughts on it are this: like, it will be exciting. Hopefully they don't take it too serious to the point where they really trying to kill each other type of thing. Mike is the type of guy, he has the type of power where even if he accidentally lands, you'll just go down. And we seen him in the other exhibition where he tried to help up. I can't remember who it was, but he tried to help him up. But yeah, hopefully it's just a fun event. Hopefully the fans don't expect too much, because these guys are old. Father Time has never been beaten. He might come late, but he will always come. So that's my thoughts on the subject. You know, we'll be doing more podcast episodes soon. You know, as I said, now that I got the book out the way, and that's coming on the 31st of August. That's the release date for the Floyd Mayweather Mind. Yeah, so we're gonna have a few new videos coming soon. So I'll catch you in the next one, champ. Champ, sir.